Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome po. We are now live in our session 3 for numerical reasoning. I am once again your coach, Faye, and we are going to discuss some special topics for numerical reasoning. So, paki-type lang po ng inyong location dito sa ating comment section para po malaman natin kung hanggang saan po umaabot ang ating review for Gurong Pinoy in Civil Service Examination for tonight. Ayan po. Pa-share po ng ating location here in our comment section. Hello po, Sir Armand. Good evening po sa inyo. Nakapag-comment na rin dito si Miss Erica at saka si Jenny. Pakitag na rin po ng ating mga kasama na maaring matulungan ng ating free review for tonight. So we have 1 hour of free review. And then after this, if you wish to have the full review na 2 hours, please don't hesitate to become a member of our Gurong Pinoy Civil Service Examiners na mga review groups. Yung hindi po kasi natin, kung free viewing po kasi tayo dito sa Facebook or sa YouTube, 1 hour lang po yung ma-access natin sa discussion natin for tonight. And aside from that, we would also only be able, hindi po tayo makakakuha ng advanced copy ng mga materials or ng iba pang mga review essentials natin. So if you want the full experience of being with Gurong Pinoy, it might be best if you would be a member of our review group. So kindly message us directly in our Facebook page para po maidagdag natin kayo sa ating review group. So we have here from Cabatuan, Isabella. From Cebu. So si Andre, si Wit, okay, si Christy from Cotabato. From Science City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija. From Jensan. Jensan, ako, kumusta po kayo nung nakaraang lindol, right? So it's we have to be very particular also, no? Aside from, of course, knowing what's going on with our fellow Filipinos, it would also be good if you're aware of the current news. Minsan po lumalabas din yan doon sa may ating general education aspects. But of course, kumustahin din po natin mga kasama natin from the South. From Batangas, Rizal, and from Pangasinan, Negros Oriental. Wala yatang malapit sa akin dito. Ozamis City, Misamis Occidental, Cotabato, ayan. Good evening din po sa inyo. Wow, from Singapore, hello po sa inyo. Same lang naman yung timeline natin sa Singapore. We are experiencing the same time, pero mas maaga lang yata dumidilim sa kanila, I believe. Or late na dumidilim, I can't remember. So ayan, from Zamboanga, Manila, from Apayao, meron tayong mga YouTube viewers from Tawi-Tawi also, Zamboanga, Sibugay, ayan, ito medyo malapit na, from Antique. Zamboanga del Norte, from Aklan, at medyo malapit din, Davao, Negros Oriental, ayan. If you're viewing us from YouTube, please do make sure na yung ating pong settings ay naka-high quality po yung video natin kasi yung standard setup po ay, I believe, naka 440 or pixels or 700 pixels. So, paki-adjust po ng settings to make sure na naka-high po siya, pinakamataas na settings, para hindi po maging blurry yung dating ng iba nating mga output here in our presentation. So, time check, it's 7:04. I will begin at exactly, siguro we'll wait a little bit more for the rest of you to come in. 1 oras lang po kasi yung free viewing natin para sa mga ibang nanonood dito. Kaya sulitin po natin by giving you a lot of materials also for this. So for those of you who have been a part of our Civil Service Review group, you would have had advanced access doon po sa ating topic for tonight. So with that, you would have had advanced access also to the items na ipalalabasin ko mamaya. But of course, yung mga discussions po ay hindi ko po naisama doon sa nauna kong binigay na handouts. Those are just the items na i-cover natin. Yung mga questions, kumbaga. So please do tag and message all of your friends and colleagues or yung mga kapamilya natin na alam po ninyong maaring kumuha ng civil service examination dahil makakatulong po yung every moment of review, every moment spent on reviewing. Ayan. So, kayo na po yung, I will leave up to you kung ano po yung scheme ninyo before you do your reviews. If you wish to have a quiet moment, if you wish to ask for guidance from the Almighty, or if you wish to just dive right into the review, ipapasa inyo ko na po yun. I would just like to recommend that if we're doing our numerical reasoning review, please have your pen and papers ready, your scratch papers, because it would be really, really helpful. I would also like to invite you to actually do the exercises. Hindi po na nakikinig lang tayo or just trying to memorize the things as they go. Dahil the act of doing the calculations yourselves is actually helping you remember. Kahit hindi man po ma-memorize nyo lahat, but it helps with your muscle memory on how to solve things. So, constant correct practice po yung kailangan natin sa civil service examination. Hindi po siya nadadala sa isa o dalawang linggo or dalawang araw ng pag-review prior to the actual test. Kailangan po natin ng matagal na time at effort na ibubuhos po dito para mas ma-ensure natin na naaalala po natin yung topics. Masyado po kasing malawak yung coverage natin. So the more practice that you have, the more actual discussions that you partake in, then the better would be your chances to remember all of your lessons. Okay, so we have here some participants from South Cotabato and from Albay. Ayan. So I believe medyo marami-rami na rin tayo. So perhaps we could begin with a few of our discussion topics. So we will begin, of course. I believe I mentioned to you, nasa schedule po natin for this November, meron po tayong diagnostic test na naganap, discussion na naganap noong November 4 and 12. So inubos po natin yung 40-item test natin sa may mock exam. Alam niyo po kasi sa diagnostic exam natin, yung actual civil service examination, meron din po tayong 40 items sa numerical reasoning. So 40 items din po yung lumabas doon, and that's what we covered in the previous two meetings. So for this weekend, ako po, uubusin ko po yung entire weekend nyo ngayon. Ako po yung makakasama ninyo ngayong gabi at tomorrow night. And we will be discussing some specific topics on numerical reasoning na hindi po natin naisama noong diagnostic test, or kung naisama man natin ay hindi natin na-discuss ng masinsinan. Yun po yung gagawin natin ngayon. Yung mga topics po kasi natin ngayon ay nangangailangan ng mas maiging pag-discuss, medyo deepening of some concepts para po mas ma-master natin siya. So, mauuna po tayo sa favorite ng lahat. Ito po, I will just be giving you some items to solve, asking you to solve them completely. Ito po yung favorite ng lahat. Ayan po. Hindi po siya mahirap, hindi po siya imposible, but the less time you spend in dealing with them, then the lesser your chances of remembering them. Alam naman po natin na yung fractions ay karaniwang nagre-rely na lang po tayo sa may calculators natin, right? But in the civil service examination, wala po kayong calculators and you have to do everything manually. So it would be best if maaalala po ninyo kung paano mag-deal sa ganitong mga topics. So once again po, please have your full focus on this discussion. If you have friends or colleagues whom you know are going to take the civil service examination, pakitag po. Nang sa ganon ay makakuha rin sila ng benepisyo by listening here in our Gurong Pinoy discussion. All right? So here is the first topic, fractions. So when we discuss fractions, ano po ito? So these are the parts or portions of a whole. So that's your fraction. Kabahagi siya or bahagi siya na isang buong part. They are expressed as quotients in which the numerator is divided by the denominator. So some keywords lang po. Fractions are expressed as, look for a good color here. Fractions are expressed as quotients. Pag sinabi po natin quotients, may division po involved. So ano yung dinidivide natin? Si numerator, ito po yung tawag natin sa values na nasa taas ng fraction, divided by your denominator. Ito po syempre kung ano yung nasa baba. So you have your n over d. Yun po yung fraction natin. Numerator sa taas, denominator sa baba. Please be particular po of the words used kasi minsan yung lumalabas sa test ay gumagamit sila ng mga terminologies. So the more familiar you are with the terminologies, the easier it would be for you. So numerator po ay nasa taas and yung denominator po ay down, nasa baba. Okay? So numerator taas, denominator down, baba. Okay? Now, there are many types of fractions and we will begin with your proper fraction. So when you say proper fraction, ito po yung tipong fraction na yung numerator mo ay less than the denominator. Ibig sabihin, mas mababa po yung value ng numerator nyo kaysa sa denominator. Halimbawa, meron tayong, say, 3/4. So, mas mababa yung numerator kaysa sa denominator. So, it's a proper fraction. Meron din po tayong tinatawag na improper improper, kabaliktaran siya ng proper fraction. So alam na po ninyo, this is going to have a numerator that is larger or greater than your denominator. Halimbawa ay 5 halves. So improper na po yun kasi yung proper dapat mas mababa yung nasa taas. Meanwhile, you also have what you call your mixed number or sometimes also referred as your mixed fraction. This involves a whole number and a proper fraction. So meron siyang proper and a whole number. Halimbawa, 3 and 5, 6. So, whole number and a proper fraction. Mataas yung denominator kumpara sa numerator. So, hindi po pwedeng tawaging mixed number yung whole number at improper. Dapat whole and proper. Yun po. So, these are a few of our terminologies that you have to familiarize yourselves with. Yung fractions natin, which involves division or quotients. You have your numerator and denominator. And then you also have your different kinds of fractions, which are your proper, improper, and mixed number. Ayan. So these are your fractions. You may take a screenshot of this slide or you could refer to this later dahil ipopost din naman po ito sa Facebook. That is if you're a free viewer. Pero kung ikaw ay isang certified member na ng ating review group at nakasali na po kayo, then you will not only have free access to the full 2-hour review, but you will also have free access to the discussion materials na binibigay po namin at the end of the discussion. Maybe in a day or so, you will receive the copy of this. Ayan po. So let's have this one. Multiplication and division of fractions. Mag-umpisa po tayo sa mas madali. As you know, there are many different operations. 4 po sila. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Mag-uumpisa po tayo sa pinakamadaling operations na nag-involve ng fractions. And these are your multiplication and division. So for now, we begin with multiplication. So when you say multiplication, sandali po. Pag sinabi pong multiplication, yung tanging gagawin lang po natin dyan ay magmumultiply lang tayo ng numerators. Multiply lang natin yung nasa taas. And then, multiply the denominators as well. And then after that, you can simplify, right? What you can do also is, pwede ring unahin nyo yung simplification bago kayo mag-multiply. Yun po yung personal favorite ko. Mas inuuna ko po yung simplification bago mag-multiply. That way kasi, mas ma-ensure ninyo na mababang numbers lang or values lang yung dinideal ninyo. And it it helps make things so much easier in the end. So I'll be showing you some examples. Let's begin with this one. So multiplication and division of fractions. We begin with multiplication. So for the first one, 3/4 times 1/2. So as mentioned, just multiply your numerator. So yung gagawin ko po dito ay multiply ko lang po yung numerator like this. Diretso lang ako mag-multiply. 3 times 1 and I would get 3. And then I would also multiply my denominator. Using ko lang po yung notation ko para mas makita niyo. So I would have 3 times 1. And then I would also have 4 times 2, which should give me 8. Right? And now this would be my answer. As simple as that. So very straightforward po yung multiplication of fractions. Now what happens if you have something like this in letter B, item B? You have 3/4 times 4/5. So the best way to deal with this is bago po kayo mag-multiply, try to get rid or simplify your values first. What do I mean by simplifying? Meron po kayong common factors na 4. Meron po tayong 4 dito sa baba. And another 4 here sa taas. If you have common factors in opposite directions, pwede niyo po silang i-cancel. So ano pong mangyayari dito? Pareho po silang 4, parehong divisible by 4. So if I divide both sides by 4, makakancel po ito. Ang matitira ay 1. Makakancel din po ito at ang matitira ay 1. So, yun po yung effect niya. You can simplify at the start. And you would end up having, ngayon, mag-multiply na ako ng 3 times 1, and that should give me 3. And then next, I would also be multiplying 1 times 5, and that should give me 5. So, this now would be my answer for multiplication. As simple as that po. So, just remember that pwede po kasing unahin nyo yung multiplication, tapos later nyo na gawin yung simplification. Later na kayo mag-cancel-cancel. I just personally don't try to do that kasi pag ginawa niyo po yan, posibleng malalaki yung numbers na i-deal ninyo. So halimbawa, what if hindi kayo nag-simplify? What if inuna ninyo yung pag-multiply? You would have gotten 3 times 4 is 12 over 4 times 5 is 20. Tapos mag-iisip pa kayo kung anong pwede nyong i-divide dyan. So same pa rin naman. I could divide 4. This becomes 3. I could divide 4. This becomes 5. You still end up with the same answer. Nga lang, it might be a little bit complicated. Mas mahirap kasi maghanap ng factors kung malaki yung number. Pero kung mas mababa siya, medyo madaling hanapan ng factors. So I suggest that you begin with a simplification bago kayo mag-multiply. Okay? So I believe we should be ready by now to try a few items. Eto po. Can you try solving the first 5 items that we have here? So feel free to just type your answers here in the chat. Nakikita ko po yung answers niyo here sa comments. So paki-share lang po kung ano yung sagot niyo. Please type first yung item number, like item 1, and then you answer, say, 1/2, parang ganon. Or in item 2, anong answer niyo? Para po alam ko kung which item you're trying to answer. I also would like to see your answers para I can gauge your pace. Para po pwede kong ulitin yung discussion or maghintay saglit or maybe repeat some discussions para po makahabol yung lahat. So you sharing your answers would actually help me also gauge how fast you are absorbing the discussions. And it would also help with the interaction natin, ganyan. And as always, it's always, there's no harm in asking questions or in trying. What's harmful is if nagko-quiet-quiet lang tayo tapos hindi nyo pala naintindihan. E di sana, kung nagtanong kayo or you showed a wrong answer, then I might be able to help you figure out where you got wrong and paano po ninyo ma-avoid yung similar na mga difficulties in the future. Okay, so we have a couple of answers here for item number 1 from Rani, from Izine, and from Heidi. And these 3 people, I think, parang ready na rin. Si Kate, medyo advanced sa number 2 na siya nag-answer. But yes, for item number 1, the answers of these 3 people and also Maria Cristina and MM, yes po, tama po kayo. For item number 1, yung answer po natin dito ay, what happens here is, you simply have to go directly and multiply 12 times 2 is 24. And of course, 5 times 5 should give you 25. Okay? So your final answer here should be 24 over 25. Wala po tayong pwedeng i-cancel dito. Keep that in mind. Wala tayong pwedeng i-cancel dahil walang common factors na nasa opposite positions. Hindi po natin pwedeng i-cancel si 12 and 2 dahil same line po sila. Hindi rin po natin pwedeng i-cancel si 5 and 5 dahil naka-same line po sila. Pareho silang denominator. So you can only do cancellation and multiplication if they are in opposite positions. Like say numerator and denominator or denominator and numerator. So sa lahat po na nag-answer ng 24 over 25, you are correct. Reminder po sa mga hindi naglagay ng item number, paki-include po ng item number so that I'm sure which item you're trying to answer. Okay, I believe we're ready for item number 2. So for item number 2, this is also straightforward multiplication. However, I would like to recommend na mag-umpisa tayo sa cancellation. As we're seeing, meron po tayong common na 9. So pwede po ako mag-cancel. Both items are divisible by 9, so this would become 1, and this would become 1. And by employing your multiplication, of course, you would end up having 2 over 13, which many of you have already answered. Ayan, I'm seeing parang si Kate yata yung nauna. Rani, yung isang Facebook user natin, pasensya po, hindi ko lumalabas yung name ninyo. Hazel, Blesty, Vina. Sino pa ba yung nakapag-answer nito kanina? Si Kai, si Maria, bakit kaya? Oh, ayun. So, what you did is inuna mo yung multiplication. If you try to divide both sides, numerator and denominator, divide mo sa 9, yung answer mo magiging 2 over 13 din. Ito po yung mahirap kasi if you start with the multiplication first, minsan hindi mo makikita na may common factors pa pala. So, I think we also have Anaida, Katrina. Ayan, nagsagot po ng tama. And Christy. Ayan. So marami-rami rin po yung nakapagsagot ng tama. Madali lang po, di ba? This is why I began with Okay lang yun po yung magkamali ngayon while we are having our discussion. Ang importante, we avoid the same mistakes during the actual test. So, okay lang magkamali ngayon. This is the perfect place to make mistakes and the perfect place to find how to avoid the same mistakes in the future, right? So, let's try to take a look at item number three. This is the tricky thing about multiplication of fractions. We think kasi that we could just multiply it directly, but actually, you're supposed to convert first all of your improper fractions, all of your mixed numbers to proper or improper fractions. So, hindi po tayo makakapag-multiply kung meron tayong mixed. So, what we're supposed to do is dapat unahin po nating i-convert ito into, let me use a different color para siguro mas ma-drive ko siya uh, forward. Unahin po nating i-convert ito doon sa kanyang improper form. So how do we do that? We multiply the whole number and the denominator. That's 9. So mag-multiply tayo dito, tapos hindi naman halatang multiplication. Parang ano. So we multiply and then we add. So what we have to do is 3 times 3, that's 9, plus 2, that should give us 11. So this in improper fraction form should be 11 over 3. And then copying the process, we should end up with 11 over 3 times 5 fourths. And now, examine. Meron ba tayong common factors? It seems na parang wala tayong common factors, so we can already begin with our multiplication. So kung mag-multiply po tayo, this is going to end up as, asan yung kulay na ginagamit ko? 11 times 5, that should be 55. And your denominator here should be 12. Ito lang po yung kagandahan. If you do the simplification sa umpisa pa lang, then sure ka na yung final answer mo sa dulo, wala na siyang, ang tawag dito, wala ka nang dapat i-factor. Now, what if your options are in mixed form? So this is the correct answer in improper form. What if mixed siya? So divide mo lang yung 55 by 12. That should give you 4. Ano yung remainder? So 55 divided by 12, that is, you would have 4. Ano yung remainder mo? Kasi 48 siya. So 12 times 4 kasi is 48. So 55 minus 48, that should be 7. So 4 and 7, 12s. So this should be your answer. Yes, tama. Si Mildred, Rani, I think, and Kath. So some of your answers are in, anong tawag dito? Format siya na improper. Yung ibang answer natin ay naka-mixed. So either of these two should be correct, whichever is given dun sa choices natin, right? So how about your answer in item number 4? I think I'm seeing a few answers already in number 4. May answer na dito si Eda. Patingin mo na ulit. Si Heidi, may answer na rin. Si Bree, oh, si Christy. Some of your answers are interesting. Si Christina, si Babylin, ayan. May mga nakikita na po akong answers dito. Let's take a look at item number 4. So in item number 4, paano po natin sagutan yung mga katulad nito na items? So what you see here is a whole number multiplied by a fraction. So ano po ba yung format ng isang whole number? Remember that a whole number is simply that number with a denominator of 1. So pag may makita po kayong whole number, imagine ninyo that that is just a fraction with a denominator of 1. Yan po yung format niya. So what should we do here? You begin first, of course, by looking for things that you could simplify with. So look for common factors. I am seeing a 3 here. And so I would be able to do some cancellations. That should give me 1 and 1. Now, to do some multiplication, I should have 4 over 1 or simply 4. And this should be your final answer. So sa lahat po na nakapagsagot ng 4, yes, you have the correct answer. Now, how about your item number 5? So in item number 5, please apply what we learned from item number 3. Hindi po tayo pwedeng makapag-multiply for as long as you have a mixed number. So it would be best if you get rid of the mixed numbers first. I'm seeing a lot of answers in item number 5, pero medyo nagkakaiba pa po. So let's give a few of you some time to get there. Makikita po ninyo sa comment section na medyo baka pag iba po yung answer ninyo, dalawang bagay lang po yan. One of you is wrong. Or pwede rin po na pareho kayo mali. Pero tingnan natin. Yes, Kate, that's correct. Before multiplying, you should first convert your mix to improper. So what would be the result then? So ano kaya pwede natin gawin dyan? While most of you are already doing your answers or having your answers, let's take a look at the solution here. So the first item natin, your 3/4 is already fine, right? Okay na siya. So, sorry. Let me revise that. So you have 3/4, okay na siya, times, eto ngayon. Ito po ngayon yung medyo special. Si 3 and 2/3 ay mixed number na format. So we have to convert it first into improper. So this should be 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2. That should be 11 over 3. So kinakopy lang po natin yung denominator. Ay, wag po tayong mawala ng pag-asa, Miss Christy. Yan po yung dahilan kung bakit tayo nagre-review. Wag muna mawala ng pag-asa. Let's just keep on practice. With consistent correct practice po, wala pong hindi nakukuha sa tiyaga, right? So, ito po yung reason kung bakit tayo nandito. We continue practicing. Now, you have these 3 na fraction format or naka-proper and improper format. What we can do is look for things that we can cancel to simplify them. So what we can do here is, meron bang nagkakapareho or things na may common factors? So what I'm seeing right now is etong 3 and 3. So meron akong dalawang 3, so I could simply cancel them. Meron pa po ba tayong common factors na nasa opposite directions? Yes, Rodel, that's correct. Practice makes improvement. Pero to be exact, constant correct practice will help you towards success. So, hindi pwedeng basta-basta lang kayo practice ng practice. Dapat yung practice ninyo ay constant. Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy. Hindi na minsan mo lang ginagawa, but dapat ginagawa natin siya consistently. And also, correct. Hindi pwedeng practice ka ng practice pero mali naman yung ginagawa natin. So, constant correct practice should be what would help you towards success. Ayan. So, eto na po tayo. This is going to be just 1 and 1. Wala na po tayong common factors. So, what I can do here is just proceed towards multiplication. So, 1 times 11 times 1, that is 11. And for my denominator, that's 4 times 1 times 6. Of course, that's going to be 24, which a lot of you has actually presented us with the correct answer, which is 11 over 24. Ayan. Kapag medyo na-notice po ninyo, kapag marami yung tinatry ninyong multiplication of fraction na items, parang nagigets ninyo towards the end. So this is the value of a review kung saan ay consistently tinatry nyo siya muna ng maraming beses. Yung same concept muna ng maraming beses bago kayo mag-try ng paiba-ibang items na wag po kayong dumiretso agad sa puro review na puro na lang multiple choice na paiba-iba yung items. So especially in numerical reasoning and math, it's good if we begin with some concepts na nagkakapareho para ma-practice muna natin correctly yung skills natin at pag nakuha na natin yung skills, doon na tayo pwedeng mag-mix ng items natin. Okay? So I hope you got multiplication right. So it's important that you get multiplication right para hindi po kayo ma-confuse pagdating natin sa next topic, which is, of course, division. So do we have any clarifications for now sa may multiplication? Parang goods naman tayong lahat? Okay, sige, let's proceed to division of fractions. So, same topic pa rin, multiplication of division. The focus this time is division. So for division po, yung kailangan na po nating alalahanin is what you need, maliit siya. Let's try this one. Thank you so much for that. Yung mga teachers po natin sa Gurong Pinoy is curated and selected po talaga ni na Coach Mec and Sir Rams. Pinili po talaga nila. Hindi po basta-bastang makapasok dito as a coach para lang po malaman ninyo. There is an interview and an audition process in order for you to get here. So hindi po namin sinasayang yung time and money ninyo for reviewing. Okay? So let's have this. For the division, medyo iba po yung process niya compared sa multiplication. So remember that dahil nag-iba po yung process, meron tayong additional na ginagawa. So what you need to do is to flip the second fraction so that your numerator will become the denominator. So nagpapalit po sila ng lugar. So unahin po natin yung flip the second fraction. Tapos, pwede na po kayo mag-proceed doon sa ating multiplication na process, right? So, halimbawa, what you're seeing here is 3/4 divided by 4/5. So, what you're supposed to do daw ay flip those fractions. So, the first one is still the same, pero yung second one dapat i-flip. That should be 5/4. And then, you can do the multiplication. Surely, alam na po ninyo kung paano mag-solve niyan, right? What you did earlier sa multiplication process natin, tingnan nyo kung may makakancel. Siyempre, wala. Kasi magka-align si 4, tapos si 3/5. 3 and 4, walang pareho. 5 and 4, walang factors. So you could simply get 15/16. And that's it. As most of you are already answering. So that's the correct answer. However, ito po yung usual process na ginagawa natin sa division. However, meron po ditong parang technique to help you solve this faster. What I do is, hindi po ako nag-flip. So what I do is, I would do the V and parang the V and the opposite V method. So ano po yung mga V and the opposite V niyan? Yung ginagawa ko po ay tinitingnan ko muna kung may magkakaparehong, kung pwede akong may makancel. So, paano mo malalaman kung pwede kang makancel? Kung sa multiplication, opposite positions yung hinahanapan natin. Dito sa divisions, it's the same line. So, 3 and 4, I can't cancel anything. 4 and 5, I can't cancel anything. And then what do I do? Pwede po yung tinatawag nating V or parang sinasabi ni Mildred na cross multiplication. So, I don't use the term cross multiplication kasi, but pwede rin naman po. Iba po kasi yung connotation ng cross multiplication po. If that's how you remember it well, okay na rin po yan. Ito po yung ginagawa ko. What I do is I multiply 3 times 5 and the answer that I get there should be 15. So, that's like a V, right? And then what I do again is I multiply yung nasa baba, 4 multiplied by 4, and then that goes sa baba. That's 16. This should be my correct answer. 15/16. So, similar process siya sa pag-flip bago kayo mag-multiply, but in my opinion, it's a little bit faster kasi hindi mo na kailangang magre-write. Pwede kang magdiretso solve. Okay? So, yun po yung sinasabi ni Miss Mildred here na cross multiplication. Parang kino-cross mo siya. Nag-crossover ka. Okay? Let's try item D. So, if I am going to employ that, titingin muna ako kung pwede akong may masimplify. Kung nagsisimplify ka sa may division, as mentioned, kung sa multiplication, taas-baba yung tinitingnan, dito sa ating division, magkakatabi or magkakalinya yung tinitingnan natin. Kasi iba po yung multiplication at saka yung division. So what I would start looking for is, ito muna, si 3 tsaka si 1, wala po silang pagkakapareho. Pero dito sa baba, si 4 tsaka si 2, meron po silang common factors. In fact, 4 and 2, I could simplify this as, they are both divisible by 2. So if I divide both by 2, this becomes 2 na lang. This becomes 1. Now, I will do my multiplication. So ano nga ba yung multiplication natin? Nag-V and inverted V method ako. So yung ginagawa ko dito ay 3 times 1. 1 na lang kasi nag-cancel na tayo. So that's 3. And then, this is 2 times 1. So I should end up with this. And that's going to be my final answer. If you did the longer method, which is flipping, before you do the multiplication, you should end up with the same answer. Yes, tama, Anaida. If you want to present this as an improper fraction, you could also answer 1 and 1/2. This is the improper, 1 and 1/2. They are both correct. Depende po kung ano yung nandun sa choices. Minsan kasi yung choices ay nasa improper, minsan yung choices ay nasa mixed. However, 6/4 might not be an acceptable answer due to the fact that it's not simplified. Masasabi po nating simplified pag lahat po sila ay naka-lowest term. Wala na pong common factors rather. So I hope that that's a little bit clear so you could try practicing the method that I showed you if it works for you. Practice niyo po muna yung tinuro ko bago po tayo mag-stick sa kung anong method po meron kayo. Try niyo po muna yung pinakita ko. Baka sakali makasanayan ninyo and it might help you become faster sa pagsosolve. Alam niyo po kasi, yung civil service exam, ilang oras lang. Tapos ang dami-dami items sa kailangang sagutan. So, we have to be fast, right? So, kung pwede lang, piliin po ninyo yung method na mabilis kayo. And when I say na mabilis, it's not because the method is fast, but because ikaw, kaya mo siyang gamitin. Kahit gaano pa kaganda ng method, kung hindi mo siya nakasanayan or hindi ka comfortable sa method na yon, it will not be the best method for you. The method is only as good as how comfortable the user is with using that method. Okay? So, hindi po ito pagandahan ng method or pagalingan sa pinakabago at pinakamabilis na technique. Kayo po yung makaka-define kung ano po yung maganda para sa inyo. Maaring ito po yung method na nag-work best sa akin pero hindi po ninyo type o nahihirapan po kayo. Huwag po ninyong ipilit. Whichever method works best for you. But for now, I would encourage you to try different methods na pinapakita sa inyo ng coaches ninyo and try to see if they would work well for you. Later na po kayo mag-curate pag medyo malapit na po. Subukan niyo po muna yung mga iba-ibang method. Pag medyo malapit na po yung test, maybe a month before the test, that's when you try to decide na, itong method na to, pwede ko tong gamitin kasi nagets ko na siya. Or you can say na, nahihirapan ako sa method na to, so hindi ko siya gagamitin. That's the time you decide. For now, we are just learning and practicing, so by all means, try to explore as many different methods as you could. And try to see which one works best for you. Matagal pa po yung March, may time pa po tayong mag-explore on which methods would work best for us. I am currently receiving some answers for item number 6. Meron po tayo dito from MM. From MM, your answer can still be simplified. From Izine, from Kate. Ayan. Both po MM. 6 and 7. Pwede pong ma-simplify. Simplify lang. Okay. Oh, very interesting answers. Let's take a look at what's going on. So, what should we do here? First, we begin by looking for things na pwedeng i-simplify. Remember that for division, yung simplifying po natin ay magkalinya. So, let's try to take a look at this. I'll start for the simplification method muna. Dito wala po akong ma-simplify. Dito wala rin. Unlike sa multiplication na taas-baba yung tingin, sa division, it's side to side. So, wala po akong pwedeng ma-simplify. So, what I have to do now is to employ my method for division, which is the opposite of multiplication. Nag-V po tayo. So, that's 2 times 13, that's 26. And then, I would also have to do 9 times 9, which is 81. Ayan. So, I should end up with 26 over 81. Kapag wala po kayong na-simplify sa umpisa, simplified form na po yung final answer niyo. For sure. Hindi niyo na po kailangan mag-isip ng common factors. Basta naubos niyo siya before multiplication. Done na po yan. So, I think yung ibang nagkamali, maybe nag-cancel kayo when you're not supposed to. Remember that you can cancel sa multiplication kung opposite directions, pero kung division, dapat side by side. Ayan. So this should be your answer for item number 6. Let's take a look at your answers for item number 7. I think I'm seeing a few here already. May answer si na Jimwell, si Genevieve, si Elaine. Pala decision lang. Okay lang. As mentioned, this is the best place for you to commit your mistakes kasi pwede pa nating makorrect. Christina has also shared an answer kanina pa. Sino pa ba? Ayan. So, yung mga nagkamaling desisyon, pwede mo pa yung palitan. Ayan. Number 7. I'm receiving a lot of answers already. I guess we could discuss this already. Let's take a look. Meron ba tayong pwedeng i-cancel? Remember, for division, by sides. So, meron bang common 3 and 5? And 5 and 4? Wala. So, pwede tayo maka-proceed directly doon sa ating process. process, which is 3 times 4, 3 times 4 is 12. And then in the opposite direction, 5 and 5 should give us 25. So this should be our final answer. Wala po tayong simplify, unfortunately. Okay? So there is that. I hope you got that already correctly, right? Let's take a look at item number 8. Dahil parang marami-rami na rin po yung nakakapag-share. You could also start sharing your number 9 and 10. But bago po tayo dumating dyan, gentle reminder, we cannot perform your multiplication or division kung naka-mix. Dapat proper and improper lang. So try to convert muna bago kayo mag-multiply. Right? Let's take a look at item number 8. Let's see if meron tayong pwedeng i-cancel. Oh, I'm seeing something. Meron ako ditong 5 and 5. So, both are divisible by 5. So, both of them become 1 kasi both divisible by 5 before I should do my process. So, 3 times 1 is 3. And then 1 times 4 is 4. So, this should be my final answer. 3/4. Ayan. Yan po sana yung ating number 8. Kung hindi po kayo nakapag-cancel sa umpisa, you would have gotten 15 over 20, which both divisible by 5, so you should still get 3/4 in the end. Now, um, kumusta po yung number 9 natin? Kasi baka may mga nagpalit ng answers nung nag-remind ako na bawal yung mixed, right? So let's take a look at item number 9. As mentioned, bawal yung mixed, so what are we supposed to do? Meron po tayo ditong 5 and 1/6. Let's convert that first into your improper fraction. So 5 times 6 is 30 plus 1, that's 31. Yes, that's correct. Christy, may 31 na tayo dyan. And then, you should end up having 6. Copy mo lang yung denominator. And of course, copy the rest. So that's divided by 31 over 3. Now, what am I supposed to do next? Maghahanap ako ng anything that I could cancel. So in this case, I am having 31 and 31. Which one canceled should give me 1 and 1 because they're both divisible by 31. But I also have, magpapalit po ako ng kulay para medyo kita niyo naman yung difference. But I also have 6 and 3. Both divisible by 3. And if I divide both by 3, I would end up having 2 and 1. So if I employ, kopyahin ko po muna bago ako mag-proceed sa process para po makita ninyo. So I end up having 1/2 divided by 1 over 1. Right? Para lang po makita ninyo kasi baka sa daming ginamit ko dito nawala na po siya. So this time, this is 1 and 2. So I should be having 1/2. Ayan. 31 over 2. Okay, 31, 2. Yes. So number 9 should be 1/2. Right? Christy, yung 44 over 55, pwede pang masimplify. Pwede pa. I'm not sure if you're seeing the may ano pa yan, may common factors pa yan sila. Now, let's take a look at your item number 10. I'm gonna wait until I have more of you answering number 10. Nakita ko yung kay Izine, kay Christina, tsaka kay Rani. Nag-share na sila na answer nila sa number 10. Si Genevieve. Ayan, meron pa ba? Si Mildred. A few are already sharing their answers sa number 10. Sandali. I think Hazel. Ayan, and Khalid. So, ano po yung number 10 natin? And isang may dalawa tayong Facebook users dito. Minsan po kasi hindi lumalabas yung names ninyo. So, dito sa StreamYard. Rashdi is also sharing an answer. Jessel, Maria A.G., Kath, and Edda. So, let's take a look. First and foremost, convert muna natin. Dapat kasi wala tayong mixed kung tayo ay nagmumultiply or nagde-divide. So, let's start with 2 and 3/4. This is 2 times 4 is 8 plus 3, 11/4. Tapos, yung isa naman ay 4 and 2/5. So 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2, that's 22. Copy the denominator. Okay? So ito po siya. Now, I want to see kung meron akong anything common. Let me take a look with ito. Yung 11 and 22. Pareho po silang divisible by 11, right? So I could start the cancellation here. Divide both sides by 11. This will be 1. This will be 2. Yung 4 and, sorry, mali yung process ko sa baba. This should not be, sorry. This should not be multiplication. Dapat division po siya. Mali yung nasulat ko na process. Ayan. So how about yung 4 and 5 sa baba? Wala po silang anything in common, so I can't do anything to them. I'll just proceed to the process of multiplying 1 and 5 is 5. Tapos 4 and 2 is 8. That should be my final answer. Yes, Rani, pwede pong balikan after. Okay? So I'm glad that you learned something new. Hopefully you did, right? So ito po yung correct answer. Wala na po siyang other format. But 5 halves. 4 times 2 po. So, ayun. May 2 pa kasi tayo, tsaka 4. Do we still have anything here na pwede pa bang ma-simplify? 5/8. Ayan. Hopefully, you got that right. Ito po, the thing about fractions is, madali po si multiplication and division. Things get challenging pagdating natin doon sa may addition and subtraction. So the next part of our discussion, yes, Christy, I'm glad na meron tayong tutunan. Ito po, dito na tayo sa exciting part. After po ng multiplication and division, ay pupunta tayo sa may addition and subtraction. So for addition and subtraction po of fractions, inuuna ko po talaga yung multiplication and division dahil mas madali siyang tandaan. Mas madali po siya in my opinion. Yung addition and subtraction po kasi of fractions would require you to remember a few more topics, such as your similar fractions. Ano yung similar fractions? Tinatawag po nating similar yung fractions if they have the same denominator. So kung magkaiba po yung denominator nila, then yung tawag natin is dissimilar. Dissimilar has different denominator. Okay? So, kung similar, same denominator, then yung dissimilar fractions natin ay different denominators. So, whenever you're supposed to add and subtract your fractions, dapat similar siya. Bawal yung magkakaiba yung denominators. So, what we have to do, what if similar, then you could proceed to the operation. What if dissimilar? What you need to do is convert nyo muna sa similar fractions. And in order for you to do that, you should need to look for your LCD, otherwise known as your least common denominator. And then, evaluate mo siya para ma-convert mo siya into its similar na form. And then after that, gawa na kayo ng operations, and then the last thing you need to do is to simplify. So the best way for us to learn is by practicing and seeing some examples. So ito po. Let's have number 11 muna. Let's do this together. At medyo madali. Number 11 is very, very easy. As you can see, all of your denominators are 8, which means that they are all similar fractions. So kung similar fractions, diretso po tayo sa operation, and then you can simplify. So what do you think is the answer for item number 11? Can we have some answers for item number 11? Is it 3/4? Let's see. Forte, paki-simplify na answer. May common pa si 6 tsaka si 8. Same din kay Jimwell. May pareho pa sa 6 at 8. So ano yung answers natin dito? Since your denominators are the same, ibig sabihin similar fractions na siya, then we could already say that magiging 8 yung denominator natin mamaya. And then for your numerator, ano yung pwede natin gawin? Employ natin yung operation. So we have to do your addition sa inyong numerator. So 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is simply 6. right? That's what you're going to do to your numerator. As simple as that. However, you still need to simplify. Is there anything common ba kay 6 and 8? They're actually both divisible by 2. So if I divide both sides by 2 or both portions by 2, 6 becomes 3 and 8 becomes 4. So the final answer for this one is going to be 3/4. Ayan. Don't forget to simplify your answers. So that's going to be your answer for item number 11. Ayan. So now, ano yung 1/2 ni... May question dito. Yes, Mariel, what are we asking about? Nagtanong ka ng 1/2. Sige, so this is going to be your item number 11. Napunta tayo doon sa may item number 12. So this time yung item number 12 natin, please take note na hindi na po siya similar fractions. Magkakaiba na po siya. Dissimilar po yung tawag sa kanila. So how do we deal with this? What we can do with this is first, we need to make sure that they're going to be similar fractions. How do we do that? Let's look for the LCD. Ano ba yung least common denominator dito sa baba? Ano yung pinakamababang number na pwedeng mag-divide? Pwede kang makapag-divide from the three of them. Anong number na pwede kang makapag-divide ng 2, ng 3, at saka 6 at the same time? Usually, yung hinahanap po nating number, we would look for the, that's not quite what I'm looking for, Ella. Yes, Ashin, Vanessa, and Izin, we're looking for the number na pwedeng mag-divide, pwede makapag-divide from them. So, pwede po yung 6. Usually po, yung trick here is, I sometimes start looking at the largest number, the largest denominator, which is 6, and I would try to test 6. Kung pwede bang 6 divided by 2, tsaka 6 divided by 3, then if the answer is yes, that should be your LCD. So our LCD here is 6. So ano ba yung gagawin natin? So what we start doing here is, yung 6, divide natin kay 2, that's 3 times 1. So divide mo siya isa-isa sa denominator, then multiply sa numerator. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, times 1 is 3. Next, plus 6 divided by 3 is 6 divided by 3 is 2. Ay, hindi kita. 6 divided by 3 is 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? And the last one is simply 6. Tapos 6 din, so wala ka na dapat gawin kasi pareho rin lang naman sila. So just copy whatever you have there. Now with this, I should end up with a denominator of 6. Tapos ano yung nasa taas? 3 plus 4 plus 1, which is 8. Of course, ano si 8? 8, as mentioned, is something that is divisible. 8 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So pag nag-divide ako ng 2 dyan, this becomes 4, this becomes 3. So my final answer will be 4/3 or 1 and 1/3, depende kung ano yung available na answer doon sa ating choices. So, ayan po yung ating sagot. Ayan, I think marami po sa inyo nakakuha ng correct answer. So, medyo may extra step tayo kapag addition or subtraction, lalo na po kung dissimilar yung fractions natin. Kung pare-pareho po yung denominator, okay lang, madali lang. Pero kung magkakaiba, medyo exciting. Ayan. So, can you try?